Lanez. So Tory Lanez has been found guilty on 3 counts. On all 3 counts, the verdict has been reached for Megan Thee Stallion for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. He has been found guilty. The verdict has just been released. Tory Lanez's dad is going off in front of the courthouse. He's going off, calling out injustice, calling out the system and how they botched the case and everything. Unfairness that carried out during this trial, people saying like certain things that they used evidence and everything that was there, pointing to other people and pointing to the best friend. A lot of people and Tory Lanez fans believe that there was not enough evidence to find him guilty. Tory Lanez possibly going down for like over 20 years, and on the other hand, there's people that believe that Tory Lanez did shot her. Yes, he did. He pointed it and he pulled the trigger 5 times. They said Tory Lanez is a hot head. He slaps first, asks questions. They are putting up all the confrontations and everything. They're looking at the gun and stuff and they're saying the gun looked like it belongs to one of the females because of how small it is and everything. And apparently it was lime green as well. And then people started comparing all the girls and everything in the industry and them that move around with the thing and stuff. They all have that similar size, the color scheme and everything, and they'll get the pink, green, all the stuff. They'll get all this different color gun stuff to move around with. So it's just odd that Tory Lanez would have had a lime green gun. Like, it's just crazy. It is something else. He's literally been found guilty. Only fools gonna believe this stuff. Only the fools is gonna believe this and look past the friends beefing the night and stuff and fighting in the road and all of it and dragging each other and everything. They want to fit their narrative. He has been found guilty. It's come out. The verdict has been released after 2 years of draining and sucking people's energy dry and suck. I'm telling you, they're blood suckers in the industry. They're blood suckers in the industry. They've sucked people dry over the last 2 years about this situation. Now he's been found guilty under some baited stupidness, running around with a lime green gun. This is something else. Literally a few days before Christmas Day, Tory Lanez has been found guilty for this 2 years. How they drain all of us. They drain us. This polarizing case. And that's what it's been, because they have drained every single one. Even though he has been found guilty, Megan Thee Stallion will still bite the tough end of the stick. And that's what they've made it out. The ritual, the humiliation, everything that's been playing out in this case. How they've done it. Kylie Jenner, all this stuff, Kardashian, everything that played a part in this case. And not just that, when it comes to the stories and stuff and these different things, like, you can just tell it was definitely something orchestrated by Rock Nation and then by the industry to take down Tory Lanez. And Tory Lanez's dad was talking about how, because Tory Lanez never signed with Rock Nation, and it's not about justice in the courts of law, and that should, because the courts has always been about the better argument. It's about the better argument. They made it into a big scene. And when it comes to these stories, they need a lot of people to be a part of these stories. That's why when you look at the Megan Thee Stallion situation, there is a whole set of people a part of it. This is about multiple narratives and these different things that they can come up with and poke holes and push and all of it. Now everyone's going crazy. Tory Lanez has been found guilty for shooting Megan Thee Stallion, and he's most likely going to be facing deportation. That's what they're saying. What's going to happen now? A few days before Christmas, and on top of that, his son had to watch him go through that. He was bringing the son stuff, and they said, he was bringing the chapter sympathy, all this stuff. It could have been right, could have been wrong. But at this point, this is how the system's set out. We are literally watching it play out at this point. People are calling it a telenovela, Law and Order, all the stuff, and that's what they made it out to be. That's how big they needed to make the story. It is. Megan Thee Stallion is done after this. Like, people are talking about her career, how it's going to be over and everything, because this is going to follow her. The lies that they had her tell and the different stories and different things that they put out only to get the views and everything and get the people wild up and have people questioning it. And knowing it's going to affect her in the long run. It's a ritual they play out. Literally, it's a ritual. And that's why people are even saying she's not cooperating. She hasn't been cooperating with that. That's why she's facing a lot of backlash as well. And no one is supporting her. Where's all the support in the industry and stuff? Where's Carisha and them? All this nastiness with her and Carisha, along with many other people. All she have gotten is hatred. They've been calling that man a horse, everything, man grown horse, all this stuff. talking about her sexual life and everything, basically humiliating her. That's part of the humiliation stuff. That's what we've been seeing going on. And she couldn't do anything. And then when she stood on the stand and talk about how, she wished that she wasn't here and stuff, who knows, that could have been something that she actually felt because of all the humiliation and different things. She have to stay off the internet because anytime but that's what they say to her, that's what they keep going on about, the Tory Lanez stuff. Because of what Rock Nation and them has done, all for the love of money, because of the love of money. This all happened because of money. This all happened because of the profit and everything else that go into this dark place in the industry. This is the video of Tory Lanez's dad going off in front of the courthouse, talking about injustice, talking about how unfair the system was to Tory Lanez, calling out Rock Nation and the deal that he didn't sign, that Tory Lanez did not sign. And also Megan said she met Tory Lanez at the Rock Nation brunch. Isn't it funny how they wanted to sign Tory Lanez, then next thing you know, he got around someone that was under them and some petty stuff happened, right? They went back and brought it to Rock Nation and told them the story. Rock Nation came up with their own story and put it out there and made this big scene out of it. This big scene that carried on for 2 years, that sucked and drained the energy out of people, out of innocent people watching their own. This is what they done. They literally dragged us. They sucked everyone with this case. And it's a lot to do with the energy as well. I believe that, the energy that was sucked from all these millions of people to do this Megan Thee Stallion case, that all plays a part in something else in that dark place. This is what Tory Lanez's dad had to say in front of the courthouse.
If God does not lose, never. And even though we've come to this juncture, trust me, you will see that our God does not fail.
This is not the
I
first
know
time
that this is wickedness. This district attorney, Miss Kathy Tarr, is the same one that witnessed or knew that 5 sheriff's deputies in LA County beat up a Spanish man with the last name Carrillo until the guy was beaten to and passed out. ABC News interviewed that man after Eyewitness News, and he said, I thought I would never be here to see my child born, and I would never been able to be around to see my other child rise up. But I'm telling you, this court system is not for justice. It's about wins and losses, and they do dirty to do whatever they can. Jay-Z, let me speak to you.
He has kids.
Rock Nation,
yes.
Because my son refused to sign a Rock Nation deal with you.
Yes.
And Desiree Perez, you wicked witch, you snitch.
Yes.
You turned on your co-conspirators, all the whole mafia, one of you that was peddling drugs in this country, and you rolled on them before so the Fed could give you a deal.
Now you think
All of you, trust me, I have intercessors, prayer warriors around the world, and they will not stop until you are cut off.
Yes.
No, we don't shoot you with guns, but we know exactly how to bring you down in the spirit.
They all have children.
Enough
They all
said.
have children.
It's all
Let's
done.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
Like that.
Open way, open way, open way, guys. Open up, open up, open up, open up, open up.
That was Tory Lanez's dad. And it's so crazy because a lot of people believe that it was going to be a mistrial. It was just all over the place. And that's why certain people in the industry, certain big ranking lawyers and stuff, did not want to take this case due to lack of evidence because they didn't see a win in it. Instead, what they've done is they put loads of money behind it, bought out crisis actors and all of it when she testified and all of it, right, to gain sympathy and public opinion. And then they still was having a hard time. So they had to put out more sympathy statements trying to threaten certain people because they realized they can't control the narrative. It was getting out of hand. They couldn't control it because people just want to know the truth. People don't care about this side and that side. People want to know the truth. And so far, the truth has not come out in this case, apart from, when really digging into the story and looking deep into it, it's no other than the friend did it.
Who shot you?
It just makes more logical sense. Something is not adding up, and that's why they had to come out and tell lies, because even if she did tell the truth and said it from the jump what actually happened, Kelsey wouldn't have made the story something that can't sell, something that wasn't able to sell, like her and Kelsey fighting and all this stuff and Amelia and everything is like just 1-2 seconds drama, 15 seconds of drama. They need it to be over 2 years. They need a bunch of people involved. When they started listening to the story now, and someone saw an opportunity, Kylie Jenner being involved, and they came up with this massive story that they push to the media, and they push it for 2 years. They drained and sucked people off of their energy because people cared about Megan to the point where they don't care about her no more. They couldn't care about her anymore because of how much they were drained. And every time people see Megan after this, because they're saying that what's going to happen is she's going to come out, the only way she can like get people off her back is if she make a hit. People feel like they're planning to do, everyone's going to forget about it, but it doesn't look like that because it's so deep. It goes so much more deeper. It's to do with energy, the dark place, the industry, the darkness of the industry and everything. It's a Rock Nation story. Tory Lanez found guilty, a Rock Nation story. This is crazy. We have seen it played out for over 2 years. Tory Lanez is facing 20 years and possible deportation for a situation where we all believe that they were all drunk, arguing. Kelsey pulled it first and then they started scuffling. Kelsey pulled it first. She fired it twice. They started scuffling. That's when people believe Tory Lanez tried to take it from her. Then it went off 3 times again. And they just ran with the story because it was profitable, because it was the perfect story for a humiliation ritual. This is what happened. This is crazy. Tory Lanez found guilty. Injustice have now played out a couple days before Christmas. Tory Lanez taken into custody. He was taken into custody. He sentenced on the 27th of January. He is going straight inside. That is crazy. His father, his son, his whole family had to see that happen a couple days before Christmas. This is something else. This is what Lawyer for Workers said about what happened, because, you know, there's a lot of people in there and he's in there as well. This is what Lawyer for Workers said about Tory's reactions, everyone's face inside the courthouse. Like he said, 12 of them decided he was guilty. Not one said or one wasn't agreeing with the plea. All of them found him guilty. This is what Lawyer for Workers had to say about the reaction and what Tory's face looked like, and what Tory's face looked like the moment they read out the guilty verdict.
And guilty on all counts. Tory did not react. He stood motionless, staring forward the entire time. They polled the jurors to make sure that what everybody was saying was in fact guilty. They went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 12. Every single person said guilty. Tory was taken into custody, remanded into custody. No bond at this time. Sentencing is set for January 27th. At the end of the proceeding, his father stood up, had an outburst in court. The sheriff, Tory, was taken into custody, remanded into custody. No bond at this time. Sentencing is set for January 27th. At the end of the proceeding, his father stood up, had an outburst in court. The sheriff